Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. My name is Josh, and today we'll be discussing about Uniswap. We'll be updating our regression and valuation analysis of Uniswap based on the recent price surge. You can see that over the last 7 days over here, the price of Uni has increased by about 45%. So that has spiked our interest. And then we'll also discuss the AI-based forecast as well as some of the key things which happened over the last 24 hours in the crypto market. We'll start with our crypto TLDR, which is our crypto news analyzer based on the last 24 hours of news based on machine learning techniques and classifying the narratives into bullish, bearish, and neutral. One of the bullish narrative related to Doge beating ETH and Sheep related to the performance of the last 24 hours. Another related to Bitcoin evangelist Michael Saylor warming up to Ether. Then Donald Trump promising to support for Bitcoin if and crypto if re-elected, and the bearish narrative related to NYAG issuing a warning for crypto companies. So that is what has happened over the last 24 hours. This is our attempt to cover the most recent news in one single snapshot. Looking at the peak value, which is our composite risk analyzer based on performance of the top 100 cryptos over the last 4 years, actually more less than 4 years, since January 2021 began. Uh, Throughout the bull market and the bear market, what were the risk levels at each phase, and normalizing those risks between 0 and 1, and these risks are being calculated based on volatility, Sharpe ratio, percent drawdown, and other risk factors. And you can read up what goes into the scores over here. And the key idea is when the risk scores are high, that favors an exit out of the market, that is DCIing out of the market. And when risk levels are relatively low, that favors DCIing in the market. So this is again not financial advice. The color codes associated with the lowest risk is blue, which is between 0 and 0.1 risk level. The green is between 0.1 to 0.2. Right now the risk levels are between 0.2 and 0.4. That's the yellow color, which is a neutral territory. And then above 0.4 is where orange, where based on your own risk appetite, if you think that rather than waiting for the eventual highest risk band, which is above 0.75 and between 0.75 and 1, DCIing out at orange based on your own risk levels, tolerance is something has which has been beneficial. Looking at what has happened to the risk levels over the last key periods, such as middle of March 2024, you can see that risks have cooled off a little from 0.38 risk level in the middle of March to about 0.28 risk level right now, in towards the last week of May. That is certainly a indicator that market has cooled off, at least based on the risk analysis. So the key idea is if the risk were to drop down to this 0.2 level, that's when any dip buying that would have a um, favorable risk reward potential at this point, rather than in a neutral level when the risk can go up and down and move as the market moves. So this is again the big peak and valley analysis. Now we'll look at the individual risks just briefly. Bitcoin at slightly under 0.4 risk, which is again a neutral zone, not too high risk, not too low risk. ETH risk coming down to about 0.54, towards the higher side of the neutral zone. BNB above, way above the neutral zone in the high risk environment. XRP slightly lower risk than Bitcoin right now. Doge comparable to ETH in its risk journey. ADA at around 0.6 to slightly above the 0.6 threshold, which is the high risk. Link slightly above the high risk regimen, that is at around 0.76. uh, Bitcoin Cash and so on and so forth. You can check each of them over here. In terms of the narratives which are popular over the last 7 days, you can see If you have been following this channel, you can see that the Ethereum narrative, which was a much smaller narrative, like right now, at this point in time, like you can see Solana over here. Ethereum garnered as much attention, usually as much as Solana is right now at garnering. But since the Ethereum ETF related news has been warming up, the Ethereum narrative has gained a lot of popularity in the market. This is again attempts to look at all of the data on YouTube and X related to crypto, and then the based on the frequency of a narrative, the size of that narrative is determined. So larger the narrative, larger the popularity of the narrative, the larger the size on the wall. You can see the ETF and the ETFs. You can consolidate both of them. Um, have also garnered a lot of attention related to approval, the spot ether being approved. Those narratives are getting popularity. Altcoins not so much. Bitcoin is still more popular based on the frequency of discussions compared to altcoins. Bullishness has returned to the market based on the frequency over here, and again, some of the other altcoins which are also uh, fairly uh, fairly discussed and fairly attractive per this analysis is Solana, Chainlink, XRP, Cardano, Polkadot are also have a presence on this narrative. Well, this is again one single snapshot of what is right now popular in the market. So if you are interested in knowing, and this gets updated every single day on our channel. So if you are interested in knowing what at a snapshot level of all the discussions that are happening on YouTube and X, without spending too much time on it, you can definitely subscribe to the channel to get the machine learning based and have AI as your summarizer for what is happening in the market. So now with this in mind, we'll briefly look at one of the recent findings of our channel, which is again the gems of the market, which are based on the Sharpe ratio and the performance since the bull market began. That is January 1st, 2023. These are some of the high performing cryptos based on the Sharpe ratio, which is a risk adjusted return. Some consideration is for some investors, a return more than that is a return more than over here for Bitcoin, return more than 3x over the last key performance period, and volatility at 0.4. So investors which favor lower volatility uh, have this are interested in this side of of the graph, where although the returns are low, uh, the volatility is also low. The other side is over here where the returns are high. You can see the y-axis, which is the total return, but also the x-axis, which is the volatility, has also gone up. And in the middle of the pack is Solana, where the volatility is not as high as Caspar, Render, or Injective, but the returns are also decent. So these are the gems of the crypto market, and you would wonder why there are only 6 gems over here, because one of the seventh gem has moved the scale so far to the right over here, so that the other six are way over here, which is tau, I think, which is related to AI, where the volatility is so high and also return has been high thus far. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. This is also getting updated every single day. In terms of today's crypto, Uniswap, you can check out the forecast graph for Uni. We trained this model middle of February, about 3 months ago, when price of Uni was at around $8.50. Today, the price of Uni is at around $11.50, and our base case scenario for, you can see over here towards the end of the month of May, was at around $11.60, almost to the dot. That has been the base case of our model. So again, this is also points that the models are not always accurate, but when the scenarios line up, that when the crypto is not too bullish or bearish. The base case is again of some guidance for the as a lookout to what could happen in the future. So in terms of what lies ahead till about end of July, which is again 2 months from now, the model says that the base case would be at around this area between $11.50 and 75 cents. Although if you were a bull and you think that there is still room to grow, the ceiling is capped at around $50, but all of the area between $11 and $50 is all of the bull zone possibility per our AI model. And if as uni fell to this range, you can see the price chart over here. Not too long ago, the price of uni was at around $6.50, and over here our theoretical bear case bottom for uni was at around five and a three-quarters of a dollar. So you can see that going forward, if there is another phase where uni has to correct, then the theoretical floor is not too far away from between $4.50 and $5.50. So this is just a way to know one standard deviation floors and one standard deviation ceiling based on our machine learning model, which is trained on the price data on a weekly level and techniques such as ARIMA, XGBoost, and LSTM. So this is again not prompt engineering. We developed our own machine learning models. And now looking at the discernment, which is our MVRV based analysis of the price is in blue for uni, and the red line is the MVRV Z score, which is again market value, realized value. You can see what goes into the calculation and what's the formula to calculate the Z score. The key idea is when the red line is above the zero cutoff, that means the crypto is overvalued based on its historical price, and when it's below the zero line, that means the crypto is undervalued. You can see Uniswap was fairly undervalued for most of the month of May. Now that the Uni has had this rally, the token has gone from a negative Z score to a positive Z score, so slightly overvalued, but that doesn't mean that it will go back to undervalued. You can see the last time uni went overvalued, it did spend a considerable month, a time of a month, so from February, middle of February to about early April in its overvaluation phase, and then came back in. So just wanted to highlight what is happening in terms of the MVRVZ perspective. And now let's go to the, oh, this is not yeah, this is the regression band for uni. This is a polynomial regression function which checks what happens to the price as or the fair value of price as time proceeds. The regression function is fit to the weekly price action of uni in such a way that the price does not have the function, or the polynomial regression function does not have to go up in time, because as you can see that unlike Bitcoin or Ether, most cryptos don't trend up with time in such a way that you can draw a regression band in a logarithmic regression band which would perfectly fit the price without uh, without the underlying currents such as drawdowns to the extent of 90% like most cryptos have. So we can see over here uni had a crash from $42 to about $4. That means almost a 90% crash. So you wouldn't want a regression band which moves up in time when the underlying crypto or the asset has a tendency to go down 90%. So this is why we chose the polynomial regression function. You can check how these regression function is calculated. And now what we have done is, now that we have our base case polynomial function which says that the line in pink which says that right now the fair value for uni is at around $8.26. What we have done is we have wrapped one standard deviation residual bands. So you can see this one standard deviation residual bands which takes into consideration about 70% of the past price action, which would inform the investors when like for example now Uniswap is at its one standard deviation peak. That means the chance for Uniswap to go above uh, like it did in middle of February is about 15% to the upside. And the chance that uni does not go beyond this one standard deviation peak, like it did not go for one, two, uh, three times at least when it rallied recently. You can see at several phases of the time of the market cycle, the base case or the fair value holds significant resistance, and at the other phases, the one standard deviation peak, which is the line in yellow, has held a significant resistance. So if you believe that the market has to cool off again, for uni, or the price action has to cool off, the $11.40 is a key level to watch in terms of overvaluation, undervaluation. And if you believe that there is still room for uni to make its two standard deviation peak, like it did at around May of 2020 or April May of 2021, that key level to watch is at around $15.73. Again, these levels do not are not static. As time progresses, these levels also either go up or down with time. So that's why the idea is it's not a static analysis, it's a dynamic analysis where that as time proceeds and as we get more and more data for price action, these regression bands get updated. So this is again week by week progression, but you can see that the key idea is the regression bands are in a downswing. So that means the likelihood for the price action to go up to the two standard deviation peak uh, is at around still at around less than 5% to go beyond this two standard deviation peak. And the challenge is when the price action is in a downward slump. You can see hardly any time when the price action is in a downward spiral, one standard deviation peak get uh, get get overcome as a resistance. So you can see in a downward price slump, one standard deviation peaks are actually held, uh, and the price action does not go beyond that. So with this, I would like to conclude today's video on Uniswap. Just to summarize everything, Uniswap at today's price action is close to its one standard deviation peak. It in terms of discerning, is it overvalued, undervalued, slightly overvalued, in terms of its base case, AI based forecast. This is the base case. The price action today is very close to the base case of our AI based forecast. And just wanted to leave you with this. If you are interested in continuing your journey using a crypto journey using AI, machine learning techniques, as well as statistical models, please subscribe to the channel. Also give this video a like, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.